I hate the internet sometimes. Connection's running fine. You know what it is? Folks are streaming Netflix downstairs. And I'm on wired connections. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, you were saying something, T-Dub. Let's continue. You were saying we were at TV announcer. You were saying something.
My TV announcer of the year goes to a man who knows that you gotta give the people what they want. He is Excalibur, Excalibur, Excalibur.
Shut up, Excalibur. That's his Twitter handle, by the way.
So for those wondering, yes, that was a certain reference to a certain anime.
Yep. For me, four-way tie. Could not leave it to one. Excalibur, obviously. Tony Schiavone, definitely. Chris Jericho came in clutch and is always a wonderful surprise when he pops up on commentary. The fourth one, boys, you gotta respect the power game. You gotta respect the power game. Samoa Joe.
Forgot about the power.
He's in a world of tactless shillers. Samoa Joe shows up and just is Samoa Joe, maybe with a corporate filter, which you can't help, but he still shows up. That's something.
I'll have to pay my tithes at the Church of the Power Game for forgetting this. Please forgive me, Joey Head Rocker, emissary of the Power Game.
But one thing I love about Samoa Joe on commentary is that he always sounds like he's an FGC commentator.
Yeah.
You know what he does sound. That's it. Somebody get Yipes and Tasty Steve on the phone. I want them doing the next Evo. I want Joey Head Rocker to do Evo.
Yeah, Joey Head Rocker, Samoa Joe on comms.
He has that sort of energy that you usually hear from people like Yipes.
Yeah, JC. Yeah, JC. We'd prefer Joe be wrestling, but he is great on comms, and that we've just proven it. He has a rare highlight. If you watch Raw, you listen to Samoa Joe, and you go, so that's good. That's what good WWE commentary is. So he is an oasis in a desert of shit.
That's a terrible desert to be stuck in.
That's Monday Night Raw on a regular basis, folks. Feud of the year.
Honorable mention would go to Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. Great little feud they had. Made Roman Reigns into one of the best heels in the business, and Jey Uso looked like a star. And it's been pretty good. But my feud of the year has to go to Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Jericho wanted to work with Orange just to show people that he wasn't just all his gimmick. He was a great wrestler, and this was a great feud to show that off. Hell, we got him to speak more than a few sentences in that great-ass debate. One of the best segments in the entire year. And he cut a very passionate and heartfelt promo towards Jericho, and they had a great trilogy of matches. How even the Mimosa Mayhem match, even though it wasn't good as the first two, was still pretty much just what you'd expect from Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. And now Orange Cassidy is legit. I know he was legit. A lot of you guys know he was legit. This feud was just to show people that Orange Cassidy was
and
legit.
We pump it up as the world's most dangerous man. We obviously do it in jest, but he's legit one of AEW's best wrestlers.
Yeah, remember that awesome match he had with Cody for the TNT title that went the Broadway?
His match with Pac.
His match with Ray Phoenix. That's saying something. He was in the ring with Ray fucking Phoenix. So yeah. Oh God and the Demo God. That's my feud of the year.
T-Dub.
Here you go. Feud of the year for me is Mox versus Kingston. Excellent mic work all around. Just I don't know what to say other than just great drama to build up to an excellent match. And the thing is, this feud was never supposed to actually happen, but it was substituted in after I believe Lance Archer got sick. So it ended up becoming just showing that when you put two great talents together in an environment like this, they just make great stuff happen.
You know the crazy. I'm with you on this one. It's John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. The promos are alone, just for the promos alone, there was raw. It was authentic. It was two guys just great on the stick and great in the ring, and they showed it was a great build up that paid off with two excellent matches, including a pay per view match that ended the year of pay per views for AEW in a great way. And this was supposed to be Mox versus Archer until Archer, well, bad news and all. But that is the changing landscape of this global pandemic we've been living through the entirety of 2020 almost since March. And that's something that we need to keep in mind. All the stuff we just said all the way until now, this was considering everything. This was considering everything. We even, but it's like, okay. Promotion of the year, boys. Do I sense a sweep? I sense a sweep.
Guys, we got to stop doing this. We have to stop doing this. My mother's getting sick and tired of coming in here and bringing me brooms all the time for all these goddamn sweeps.
Just keep one. We just need the one.
Yeah, but this one is such a big sweep. It needs a bigger broom. I mean, AEW fucking W. I mean, they just been hitting it out of the park just this entire year. Not just with pay-per-views, not just with the regular show, but just how they handle business in general. They are the polar opposite of WWE. They are embracing the fandom. They take criticism and they just get better and better. They say, hey, the shows that they need to work on the hard camera. They've been working on the hard camera. They're work on the women's division to some meager success. They got Dark, which has become a bastion where they can showcase all these indie talents who haven't been working because of this pandemic and give them a chance to do what they do best and make a paycheck for it. They did the right thing by having the wrestlers beat the crowd so they wouldn't be wrestling in dead silence. And they've been handling the pandemic as stringently as possible, doing weekly checks for everyone involved in this to make sure everyone was healthy. And if somebody might have it, they got to be quarantined. They just been doing. And this week's show just showed that they are a company that truly cares about their performers and the people that work with them. And I'm glad that we have this company right now, because if we didn't have AEW, I would have probably stopped watching wrestling entirely this entire year. Maybe some New Japan, but other than that, I wouldn't be watching any American promotion. So AEW, you got room to grow, but I can't wait to see what you're going to grow into.
I have to agree with Shin here. AEW is just the promotion of the year. They did what many people thought would be impossible and became a strong number 2 promotion in the U.S. And not only that, there have been multiple occasions where they get more 18 to 34 people watching Dynamite than Monday Night Raw.
Some marks would argue that point, T-Dub. You know that, right?
I'm
not one of them. I'm just saying, Brian Alvarez has been fighting him off every week.
The numbers are the numbers. They don't lie.
Nope. So sweet, boys. All Elite Wrestling. They have work. They have room. They still have the women's division that is a shit show. But name WWE. Dave, you've mentioned it before. The 18 to 48, the 49 demos say it. The numbers are consistent. This they're growing, and in a state where they probably shouldn't be growing in this pandemic. And one thing they should add, they've had actual crowds in the last bit, and they've kept things at social distance, masks on. But hey, it's cooling off. It's cool enough. The wrestlers can compete and stay warm in the ring without too much trouble. And the fans, all you gotta do is wear a nice coat and your mask, and you're good to go. Just AEW, just in general. I'll just add that to it, really. Title reign, boys.
Bar none, Jon Moxley's reign as AEW champion. The belt, he just ran with it. Like, especially when in that year that has been 2020, where his title reign could have been faulty and could have floundered because they didn't really have much of a live crowd. He didn't care. He just came to work, made that belt something special, and now it is probably the most prestigious title in all of professional wrestling, second only to the IWGP World Title, but only because that's been around longer and it's had people like Naito, people like Tanahashi, people like Okada just building the belt up, and Moxley was really the one who made that title special, and now it's around the waist of a great heel in Kenny Omega, and just can't wait to see what's going to happen with that title.
Get out of my head, Shin, because yes, Jon Moxley, best title reign of the year, AEW World Champion, excellent stuff. Just killer promos, killer matches, and these matches help elevate other people. Elevated Eddie Kingston, elevated MJF, and now he handed the title off to Kenny Omega in a controversial finish that is once again going to elevate him.
Just get the broom back. It's a sweep. Jon Moxley, AEW World Champion. For all the reasons you've brought up, he started with a crowd at hand that serenaded his victory. He's held the belt during probably one of the worst times to be a professional wrestler, period. And his title, his loss, while controversial, was a newsmaker. That's a title reign right there, man. Pay-per-view or network special, though. I don't think it's going to be a network special this year. Though I don't think it's going to be sweep. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, probably not. My network special.
You missed Comeback.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Comeback, yeah. You know what? Let's do pay-per-view, then we'll do Comeback.
My pay-per-view of the year is Double or Nothing. Just a great show up and down the card with a lot of great matches, culminating in that awesome Stadium Stampede match. And it came right at the opening months of the pandemic. So it was just something to that entire show was something to remind you, like, hey, things are shitty right now. Let's give you 3 hours of some great professional wrestling to remind you why you love this shit, guys. And I'm glad for it. So Double or Nothing, pay-per-view of the year for me.
For me, I have an honorable mention to Wrestle Kingdom 14, but my pay-per-view of the year goes to AEW Full Gear, just for being one hell of a pay-per-view to end AEW's year on.
Good choice. Good choice. Wrestle Kingdom is honorable mention for me as well. But AEW Revolution. Look, Full Gear was awesome. But I miss that crowd so goddamn much. I do. 3
different AEW pay-per-views. Who would have thought?
Yeah. And all 3 good for their own reasons too. Like, this is, And yeah, Wrestle Kingdom actually doesn't start tonight. Hairball, it starts on the 4th. It's always on the 4th.
Always. 4th and 5th.
Yeah. Doesn't start tonight, dude. No, I don't blame you. It is Friday to Saturday over there by now. So I don't blame you. Which, by the way, we would preview the show, but it's just bad timing on our end. But you should watch Wrestle Kingdom. They got a good card, despite everything. Now we go to Comeback. Sting!
Don't get me wrong. Edge is a close second, but when you got a guy come out to a crowd that's very sparse and it sounds like it's an entire stadium full of people, it's a great comeback. Sting's was beautiful, and he didn't really do much. He just came in the ring, looked everyone up and down, and left. Only Sting, 61 years old, can come out, do absolutely nothing and be the most badass mofo in the entire world. So, and I'm still excited to see what he's gonna do. Hopefully, we'll do some cinematic matches, but it seems like he's aligned himself with Darby Allin, which I'm very happy for. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with the old Stinger.
D-Dub?
Before I get to my 2020 pick for comeback of the year, I just got informed of my 2021 comeback of the year potential.
Really?
Mil Muertes!
Look, he hasn't come back to MLW officially yet, so you got to pick from 2020.
It says on their official YouTube channel, Mil Muertes is resurrected by Selena de la Renta.
D-Dub. He's not coming. Yes, it was filmed in 2020, but it's 2021 for that comeback. It don't count.
I know that's what I said. 2021 potential comeback of the year.
Fair enough. Who was your 2020 comeback of the year?
Brody Lee. He was pretty much spent a year doing nothing in WWE, came over to AEW, and just set the world on fucking fire. Had a banger match with Jon Moxley, had an excellent feud with Cody, and elevated the Dark Order to heights they never seen before. And also those skits.
As long as I'm going to say is dog collar match for that. Just saying. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes, I can.
Don't give me that dead air on me, goddammit. For me, obviously, three-way tie. Brody Lee, obviously. I'd give it to Sting, but he hasn't wrestled yet. And they intend for him to wrestle. Though, that's an honorable mention for sure.
He's only going to wrestle matches, thankfully.
Yeah, he's not going to be too many. It's going to be one or two max a year. And I think that's about as much as he should do. But that's just an opinion from a, armchair booker here. Yeah, so Brody Lee is one. Edge is one just for that Royal Rumble appearance. Just that pop and that look on his face when he comes out of the smoke and goes, "Oh my God, I'm back. I'm actually back. I'm actually back." Sucks about that greatest match, the greatest match thing. But still, man, he's got an injury, and then when he returns in 2021, it's full steam ahead on the wrestling, and that is not a bad thing, hopefully. And MVP, same night comes back. He's cannon fodder for Brock, but who would have thunk at the beginning, during that Rumble match, we thought, okay, he's done. Oh, they're signing him to a talent contract. He might be a manager. He's a good talker. Goes with Bobby Lashley. He needs a talker. Forms their business. Rough patches, but at the end of the year, Bobby Lashley, U.S. champ. Tag champs, Shelton Benjamin, which that's another fucking comeback. Actually, that was a comeback from last year, but that's improvement right there. Cedric Alexander, who was practically nothing as a face, he is a heel. He's tag champs with Shelty B. Folks, that's a fucking comeback. MVP. Comeback of the year right there. Edge and MVP. Edge for the Impact. MVP for the for just the hell of a year he's had. That's a fucking comeback if you ask me.
Can't disagree with that whatsoever.
Angle or storyline? Oh boy.
Honorable mention to Roman Reigns' run as the tribal chief. But my pick that's lasted the entire year, the fall and the rise of the cleaner, Kenny Omega.
Ooh.
He started off the year very, very shaky, joins up with Hangman Adam Page to become one of the best tag teams in the world, loses the tag team belts over a feud with FTR, and then resolves himself to get back to being who he was, the cleaner. Steamrolls over Sonny Kiss like he doesn't even exist. Has a great match with Pentagon. goes on to beat his former tag team partner, and goes on to dethrone Jon Moxley, who was the champion and still was undefeated at the time, with some help from the Jackal. And now he's instigated a possible cross-branded war between AEW and Impact Wrestling. It is a great story of a man who started off floundering, but now is reaching back to the heights he once had.
And he's a heel again.
And he is so damn heelish. So damn heelish, you can smell it all the way from North Carolina!
There it is. We got it in there, baby. T-Dub.
For me, my storyline of the year is Hangman Page's fall from grace. Every time he starts to gain a little bit of success, something happens that just cuts the legs off from under it. Oh, he joined up with tag team with Kenny Omega, won the tag team titles. But due to his own inferiority complex, he gets them to lose the tag belts. And then he just keeps on losing and losing. And right when he thought he started winning with the tournament, Kenny beats him. And so he just keeps falling and falling. And so, could he end up in the Dark Order? I hope so.
And right now, it seems like the only logical step here. There's a hole. There's a hole in the leadership of the Dark Order. Just saying.
Yeah, and the fact they made the storyline last from January to December without any stalling or filler is amazing.
All right, for me, I got two. Roman Reigns' heel turn, his tribal chief run from SummerSlam all the way up here. Good Lord, some massive storytelling, and that's got to go into another pick later in the program. But MJF joining the Inner Circle. This was so awkward, so cheesy, yet so fucking awesome. Dinner debonair, anybody? Fucking A, who knew?
Also, I would like to add in another pick that you just reminded me of, and that is the unrequited romance between Jake Hager and Wardlow. It will culminate,
and they got a match next week. Good Lord, that's gonna be a hoss fight.
Which will also culminate in them making out in the middle of the ring, because they really need to just get down to business and just start fucking. Because
at this point, that it's gonna start in the ring, and then they're just go, just count us out. We're gonna go find a room.
The only way to end this with any real satisfaction. Otherwise, they're just teasing us, really.
It's either that or a shitload of blood. Either way, that's probably going to happen. Oh, God. This next one, boys, I'm pretty sure you guys had a little bit of trouble with promo of the year. No.
Oh, this was a tie for me. And both of them involve Eddie Kingston. That first promo he did when he came out to face off against Cody for the TNT title, it was, if you hadn't heard of Eddie Kingston before, you did now.
You fucking knew now for sure.
Everyone knew who the fuck the Mad King was, and that was such a great promo that the WWE actually had the nerve to actually want to sign him simply because of the strength of that promo. And the only reason why he is in AEW is because his mom, Ruthie, wanted him to go there so he could be happy. The other one is the final promo between Mox and Kingston. It was just so, like, I tell people, you want to know how to cut a promo? Watch this promo. You've seen two masters at work here. Just the intensity, the language, the body language, all of it was just. Speaking
of Rufy, she got a mention in that.
Yep, that's how I knew her name. That's where I learned about Eddie Kingston's mom. It's like he mentioned her name. Mox mentioned her name. It was just, it took a match that was supposed to be filler and turned it into a must-see match, simply for the power of the promo between these two.
And I have to agree with Shin for when it comes to my promo of the year. The mother promo between Mox and Kingston was just on a whole nother level.
We have a sweep, gentlemen. Mox Kingston face-to-face. Dynamite November 4th. For those of you stats nerds out there, that's a sweep.
like just the fact that they were able to get that raw emotion out there. It felt so goddamn real. It felt like these two were really about to just murder each other for really reals on television. But Eddie Kingston he did not want to show restraint, but he had to. He had to show restraint, or else I believe the title match would have been off. If I recall.
that was the thing. It was a face any physical contact, the match was off, and Moxley forfeited the title or was declared vacant or something like that.
Just the fact that the way Kingston sold that, where he was just it looks like his whole body was just starting to shake at the end of that, where he just had to just walk away. He had to walk away.
Masterclass. Two masters, just two guys just going out there doing their fucking job. Right there. Whew. Match of the year, boys.
No, we need promo.
No, that's what I said. Mox Kingston face to face. I said that.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sweep.
Oh, this one was so hard because
difficult.
There was
yeah, I do not suspect a sweep on this one. I'm not expecting it.
And
of the year.
Whatever matches you guys pick, I will agree wholeheartedly. But there have been so many great matches this year. The dog collar match, Mox versus Eddie Kingston, Mox versus Lance Archer, Mox versus Brody Lee, Kota Ibushi versus Okada, Shingo Takagi versus Minoru Suzuki for the Never title, Ilya Dragunov versus Walter.
By the way, if that match is on your list, folks, I don't blame you. Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, so it's FTR versus the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman.
You got a big one though, dude.
But in this one, I had to pick a tie for different reasons. One is a cinematic match. The other is a traditional wrestling match.
Fair enough.
The cinematic match, of course, goes to the Stadium Stampede match, the Elite versus the Inner Circle. It was so much storytelling. It was everything that was glorious, ridiculous, and funny about pro wrestling. Between Hangman riding down the field in a horse, Matt Jackson doing suplexes all up and down the field, Matt Jackson moonsaulting off the goalpost, the barroom brawl between Hager, Omega, and Hangman, Jericho calling for an instant replay of his pinfall, Matt using the chair of wheels on Proud and Powerful after being reincarnated, and the ending with the one-winged angel through whatever the fuck that was. It was the most anime match you could ever get. And my second one, it's simply because it happened at the right time with the right two people with the right stakes. It had the great build-up. The match itself was great and brutal, and it had the benefit of actually happening in front of a live rabid crowd. And that is Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki for the U.S. title. It had the perfect build-up with the two just beating the shit out of it. It wasn't even about the title at that point. They just wanted to beat the shit out of each other.
That's pretty much what it was, yeah.
And it had one of the best openings you could do to a match like this. Mox comes out, he calmly folds up his jacket, folds up and puts the U.S. title down, goes to the entrance ramp, and he's waiting for Suzuki. Suzuki comes out, folds up his towel, doesn't even wait for Kaze ni Nore, then picks up two steel chairs, goes over to Mox at the front of the ramp, and he just throws it down and he says, "Pick it up." And what happens is 20-plus minutes of glorious, hardcore wrestling, and I fucking loved it.
For those playing the home game, you might want to let them know what pay-per-view it was.
I think it was it New Year's Dash? I know it was after Wrestle Kingdom, but...
It was after Wrestle Kingdom. I think it was one of the... I don't think it was New Year's Dash. It was another particular show.
I don't know... New Japan shows by heart or when they happen, so I'm not sure, but
I think it was one of the spring shows.
It was on the spring shows.
One of the early spring shows, actually. No, New Beginning. It was New Beginning.
New Beginning in Sapporo, yeah. Yeah, it happened just before the pandemic got bad. So it happened in front of a live, loud audience who couldn't wait to see these two just. Oh my God! Oh God! I'm feeling it. Oh.
We'll let Shin recover here, teed up.
For me, it's easy. Best of Super Junior Finals. Hiromo Takashi versus El Desperado. A match that was not only excellent, but raised the star power of El Desperado and also featured one of the most shocking moments in New Japan history this past year.
I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it for me.
All right, go watch the match as soon as possible. Go watch it. God damn it.
That's an excellent choice, and I don't blame you. For me, I'm going with quality and impact, and ironically, it's no pun intended. It's Moxley versus Omega. Dynamite Winter is coming. Great match. Started slow, which people go, well, that should make a match of the year. But then again, look at the impact of the finish. Yes, it was controversial. Yes, it was bad, but it gave Impact a temporary boost of viewership. That's huge. It set off a feud between the Good Brothers and Kenny versus some Impact guys. It's setting up Kenny Omega as a potential double champion. That's with quote unquote competing promotions, and it leaves the door open for anybody else.
Also, if Kenny Omega were to win the Impact title, he would be a triple champion.
Yeah.
Hey, Omega, he's still the AAA Mega Champion.
And Hairball Winter's coming. Wait, we're not doing phrasing anymore. It's the title of the freaking. It's the subtitle of the friggin' show, dude. There's no coming joke here. And if I have to pick a cinematic match, Stadium Stampede's good, but it ain't no boneyard match. In fairness.
Do you said boneyard or boner yard?
Yes. We should put I don't know why we wouldn't put. No, actually, I understand why we don't put Talking Shop Mania 1 or 2 on the list, because that would be a disservice to the actual show. The tagline is the worst pay-per-view ever. I'm like, why would we put it on the best list? Honorable mention for the pay-per-view of the year for sure. But yeah, Boneyard for sure. The AJ Styles versus Undertaker is what I mean. It's definitely an honorable mention for me, if not for the actual cinematic match of the year. Though Stadium Stampede, solid choice. I'm not gonna bitch about that. I think pick any one of them. Another honorable mention is obviously Dragunov versus Walter, because holy good God, what the fuck. That wasn't a wrestling match. That was a shoot fight. You cannot convince me otherwise.
They just beat the shit out of each other.
Again, shoot fight. Prove me wrong. Heel of the year, boys.
Oh, this is a tie for me.
I got a tie too, not gonna lie.
I couldn't pick one over the other, so I just picked them both. Surprisingly, it's not MJF as much as I would like to, but this year, I got to give it to Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. He is one of the few, and I do mean few, things that I will actually watch from WWE this year. And his heel work has just been succulent, to say the least. He fits so well in the heel aspect, especially his interactions with Paul Heyman, where he's not much of an advocate for him, but he's just there to just and Roman just barely tolerates him. Like, you say that again, I'm gonna kick your ass, Paul. Like, okay. Suck my dick. Wait, what? You heard me. I said suck my dick. Okay, fine. I'll suck your dick. I'll suck your dick. Fine. And the other, of course, the return of the cleaner, Kenny Omega, in a span of a few weeks. He is going to become one of the hottest heels in pro wrestling. To show you just how much of a bastard heel he is, he made Rich Swann, the current Impact champion, he made him feel like a mid-carder in his own company. That's how much of a heel Kenny Omega is. He made him feel like he made their Impact champion look like a secondary belt, and not in the state of North Carolina.
There it is again. D-Dub?
Well, I guess I just have to be predictable and say that my heel of the year is MJF.
I got a tie. MJF, though it was close. So for a while it was sketchy because Roman Reigns would be during his heel run. I don't think if there was a crowd, he'd be in good heel heat. He would be number one. But MJF, and what clinched the tie was his work this week on Dynamite. Do not mince. I'm not going to mince words here. MJF knows what his job is, and he knows where to get the good heat. And yes, it could have been taboo to go after the family and all that stuff, but it's MJF. He's a heel, and a classic heel at that. That's what makes him so goddamn good.
We all know it. I mean,
yeah.
People can be upset about it, but people in the know, people who know what professional wrestling is, knows like, oh my God, he's gotten into a feud with a kid. I love MJF.
This is literally a case of this is a classic old school heel. He would go after a classic old school 80s heel would go after anybody. Again, why do you think he still gets comparisons to Roddy Piper, for God's sakes?
Not to mention, did you see Brody Jr. smile after he laid him out?
Yeah, that was pure wholesomeness, and especially with the way that Five was hugging him afterwards.
So I want to bet that Brody Jr. probably asked MJF to do that. I want to think he did.
MJF is like, dude, you could do it. He probably went. We're thinking of doing this, but he asked the mother for consent. It's like, no, cool. And the kid was probably said, okay, cool, let's do that. He took a bump for the kid to get the positive pop.
And the reaction from Tony Schiavone, hit him again! Hit him again!
Again, yeah. Set up, payoff. Face of the year, boys.
Tie for me. Gonna be, of course, the Oh God, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Great stuff this year. Mm. And of course, the man who finally has his full name back, Cody Rhodes. I mean, he even though he's been a bit heelish this year, there's never been a more consistent and more over face than Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and he knows it. He knows exactly what to get the crowd on his side. He can be a little heelish, but he is still the best face that AEW has.
As much as I love adrenaline in my soul, something, Cody Rhodes. I have to give it to Moxley.
It's a tough one. Don't blame you.
Or, as the returning heel book said, John fucking Moxley.
Yeah, heel book's back. He did a video to Roasting 2020.
It's so good to have them back.
More video. We need the trailer voice guy though for that. We need that. For face, Cody Rhodes. Absolutely. There's no better. I'm not gonna say pure baby face because I don't think that would work in that case. But traditional baby face for sure. JC in the chat brought up another one. Let me find it again. He brought up who said. Yeah, JC also wanted to give honorable mention to Cameron Grimes for pure entertainment factor. That was for heel of the year, by the way. Excellent choice. Plus, it gives us a chance to bring up Dexter Loomis. That's not a bad thing. All right, manager or non-wrestling talent?
Three-way tie for me.
Mm-hmm.
First up, Skiavone. Because you guys know how much I don't like WWE's interviewers because they're just mannequins. But Tony really just the way he interacts with the wrestlers, it just doesn't look like he's just holding a microphone. He really looks like he's interacting with them. Like one of the first quarantine shows they did, he found damn, I forgot his name is escaping me. He was gambling with MJF.
Fuck.
You're talking about the Perfect 10, Sean Spears.
Sean
Yeah,
Spears,
Sean-
yeah. But
and
there
they
was
were
another
gambling.
guy in there.
Yeah, and they were gambling, and he was just reading them the riot act, and then and MJF was like, "Yeah, man, you need to get out of here." And then he whispers, not so subtly, "You want to get in on some of this action, old man, or what?" And Tony just looks at him like, "We'll get back to you in this a little bit. How much you got going on down there?" That's just
That's
risky
that's
enough.
Shivani right there. That's the power of the old school announcer guys, and that's what Tony Schiavone is. He was the I guess the NWA's answer to Mean Gene Okerlund in a sense.
Very
So
much so.
that's still that's a skill that is so sorely missed. So I don't know,
And-
absolutely.
And the other two, Tony Khan for just being the utter mark that he is, even though he looks like a hairier Chris Kattan. and of course, after this week, you got to give it to the to -1 Brody Jr.
I mean, you know what? Sentimental pick, but I'm not going to blame you on that. T-Dub.
For me, this year goes to TK himself, Tony Khan, just for booking an excellent promotion, able to keep himself minimally on screen. You know, he's only on there whenever someone passes the backstage area, and of course during this week's Dynamite where he kind of had no choice, and just being a wholesome dude. I mean, he could have just treated this wrestling company as just another regular business, but no, he put his heart and soul into it, and we felt that this year because he could have easily fired people to save money. He didn't. He didn't fire a single person. So thank you for that.
For me, it's kind of a tie. Manager non-wrestling talent. It's kind of a cheat for MVP because he is in a managerial role, it's kind of a player coach kind of position. But again, going back to that comeback of the year, he's managing tag team and U.S. champs. That's a good manager right there. And obviously Tony Khan. That just goes without saying here. Let's go with Rookie of the Year. Tough one for me, actually.
Took me a while, but there was really only one answer. Just to remind you that the Revolution will be televised. Yeah, my Rookie of the Year, none other than Team Taz's own absolute Ricky Starks. That kid is, I'd never heard of him before he wrestled Cody for the TNT title. Yep. Now I love the fuck out of him. I love me some.
He's not technically a rookie. His rookie year in AEW, I will agree with that. I've watched T-Dub and I've watched him in on NWA Power, former television champion for the National Wrestling Alliance.
I watched his TV title run. It was pretty nice, although I think it was a bit too short for my liking.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
still.
Yeah, in a stable full of killers. Guys like Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage.
He stands out. A lot of people are giving him comparisons to a young Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, but he can actually go. I'd say he's a little bit more skilled in the ring than The Rock at that point in his career.
From the charisma and talking aspects, obviously.
Yeah. So, Rookie of the Year. Louisiana's own Ricky Starks.
For me, Rookie of the Year goes to another member of Team Taz, but this one is somebody who you would told me their name a year ago who said, who? But now I'm like, watch out, this person could be somebody in the future, and that is Powerhouse Hobbs.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And the fact that
this is
before he turned heel, he looks like just another white meat baby face, but ever since like that heel turn, he's able just to put on that face that just looks terrifying. Like, this dude looks like he could murder you.
That snarl of his, it looks unsettling. Like, I find it hard to look at Hobbs when he has that face on.
And, of course, they know how marketable it is because it's on his merch now.
Yeah. And he didn't have to do much. It was just a very subtle change, but he got that change, and it fucking works. Absolutely. And yeah, I don't. Yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs figures in there. It's a three-way tie. So Powerhouse Hobbs, just an absolute wonderful first year. Honorable mention the Ricky Starks, though. I will agree on that. Pat McAfee. Of course, he was released because, WWE, but he's got 2 matches under his belt. One with Adam Cole, one on War Games. Both he impressed. It's a shame that they let him go for whatever the fuck reason, but if he wanted to wrestle again, I would not mind. He good. He for a celebrity, he good. He good. But I sense some of you might like, why'd you put Pat McAfee in there? I was like, well, he's A, good. B, he's not. I said 3-way tie. Anna J. Started during the Atlanta GA beer bug tapings for Dynamite, and just week to week improvements, and the last show of the year, one of the better perform, one of the good, on a litany of good performances, and she's definitely one of them for sure. All right, faction of the year. Now I'm sensing a pattern here. Do I sense Brooms?
I'm buried in Brooms with so many goddamn sweeps we've had.
Yeah.
There is only one faction of the year. There is only one faction that could be faction of the year, and that's the Dark Order.
Dark Order, baby!
It's a sweep, Dark Order.
Considering where they were in 2019, and all because they added one little thing to their gimmick that made them so special, and that was the adding of the Exalted One, Brody Lee. And now they're the best thing on BTE. Everyone in that whole stable is good to great. Everyone. Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, Reynolds, especially John Silver, 5, 10, Anna J, Colt Cabana. It's literally an all-star group. That group could dominate AEW this year. I predict that more than I want to see them have all the belts. I want to see them just have all the belts.
I'd like to know that AEW had a guy win on the main event Dynamite whose gimmick is that he's a coke fiend.
Exactly. 10 is an unabashed coke fiend.
Anyone watches BTE, they know that that's his gimmick on that show, and BTE is canon to Dynamite.
In a weird way, yeah.
So, a guy whose gimmick is as a coke fiend won the final main event of 2020.
Coke isn't Coca-Cola, by the way. He did that. I think they're implying that. It's not drugs that we know of.
They literally had him snort a line during the musical number for the Christmas show.
You fucking forgot.
Yep. They even had a segment on there where he had some white stuff on his mask, and it wasn't.
Oh God.
He actually pulled out a bag.
Kayfabe. Kayfabe.
Isn't that not like the most 2020 thing you've ever heard?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a sweep. Let's go to the tag teams, boys.
Tag teams, you're gonna be surprised by this. Honorable mentions go to FTR and the Young Bucks for basically making tag team divisions great again. But my tag team of the year, my boy CSJ and Black Mephisto himself, Taichi, Dangerous Tekkers. I didn't expect to like them, but they're my favorite tag team.
It's the promos. It's the promos. I don't blame you.
And they've been consistently beating a team consisting of Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi. Like, who does that? And they just have their number. I love Dangerous Tekkers. Love them.
Also love the promo that the two of them did backstage with Despy, where they're all saying, "Hey, we should go out to a drink," but they're all just coming up with reasons why they couldn't drink. Like, "Oh no, I have to drive." "Oh, me too." "Oh, I'm driving too. I have my scooter." "Well, I guess none of us are drinking then." So great. But my tag team of the year is a tag team that knows how to give the people what they want. Best Friends.
You're gonna
Nice.
give James E. Cornette an aneurysm, and I like
Good,
it.
good, because best friends are amazing and they're wholesome.
Yes. For me, I got to be predictable. FTR and Young Bucks, but both of them I couldn't pick. I couldn't flip a coin because it landed. The virtual one landed vertically.
And the virtual coin landed on its side.
Seriously.
You know something? I thought about as the months went on since that match they had at Full Gear.
Yeah.
We thought that the build up to that match was only a couple of weeks. We need to understand that this match they've been building this match up for the last 4+ years.
Yeah. By the way, for the record, the short-term build was crap. They were saved by the long-term build and the match itself. Let's be fair here.
Yeah.
But it was two great tag teams going out there doing good tag team things. And making us mark the fuck out. On the microphone, boys. Oh, shit. I got a list here.
AEW is lousy with guys who can just cut great promos, but for me, the undisputed king of the mic this year, none other than the Mad King himself, Eddie Kingston. He made himself one of the most talked about wrestlers in the world just from showing up on a random episode of Dynamite. He got courted by the WWE, but came into AEW, and he has just been utterly untouchable on the mic. He just has this raw grittiness that just makes you believe he is a legitimate badass. Like he sounds like he will cut you. He will gouge out your liver and force feed it to you while pissing on your corpse. And I love it.
Best part is, underneath all that is a wholesome person.
Yeah, total sweetheart, but
Yeah.
like Minoru, but utter hard ass in the ring.
Basically, America's answer to Minoru Suzuki.
And now you want to see that goddamn match.
And that's why Eddie Kingston is also my winner for On the Mic of the Year.
I could not choose. I got a 6-way tie. Good Lord.
Thanks.
Yeah, I could not choose. I mean, overall, the first one I put in was Eddie Kingston, so you could put him at number 1 for sure. But Chris Jericho had great promos. Roman Reigns as a heel, good Lord, his character development, amazing. Kevin Owens sold me on TLC, on their match at TLC. MJF is always good on the stick, always gets a heel heat. John Moxley, not to ignore him, but Jesus. JC wants to give an honorable mention to Jey Uso. That's definitely on the list. But yeah, Eddie Kingston. Like, start of the year, oh, good Lord, not going to be a good. He's starting to sell his shit. And then they give him an opportunity on Dynamite for the TNT title. That's all he ever needed. That's all he needed. And Gimmick, boys. Gimmick.
Tie for me, 2-way tie.
Yeah.
1 for the old god himself, again, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. And the other, took him this long to get on the list, but he's finally here. The overall winner for all of NXT War Games, I called it, none other than Dexter Loomis.
There it is.
I was aware of Dexter Loomis back when he was Samuel Shaw in Impact, and I was like, this gimmick could be something, but he needs to mature a little bit. Then he shows up in that tournament, and I'm like, oh my God, he is fully evolved. He went from a Magikarp, and he's now a Gyarados with a murder mustache, and I am all here for it. Give me more Dexter Loomis. Give me more.
Except for Cameron Grimes. Oh no, no more Dexter Loomis, asshole.
And for me, Gimmick of the Year goes to somebody who 5 years ago you would not have expected to be on the best Gimmick of the Year list, but here he is. He is the former Big Dog. He is the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns.
Time for me as well. Roman Reigns, what a transformation and a worthwhile one. Roman Reigns as well. Just That gimmick is going to print money, and probably would have printed money if there was a crowd involved. Female wrestler of the year, boys.
Honorable mentions goes to Hikaru Shida because holy
Ooh.
Bailey and Sasha Banks. But my female wrestler of the year, the goddess of the skies, herself, Io Shirai. She got the belt off Charlotte, even though she didn't pin Charlotte, and she's been holding it down ever since. And NXT's women's division has just been the best part of NXT from every time I see it. And Io Shirai is showing that she really is worthy of carrying the banner of the women's division into this year.
That is an excellent choice, but I'm choosing, instead of a goddess, an empress of tomorrow! That being Asuka, for being able to carry both Raw and SmackDown during the empty arena eras.
Jesus, yeah, her work. She just rediscovered that, hey, I'm Japanese and I'm charismatic. Fuck it. She hit the fucking button and it worked, boys. It worked. Three-way tie for me, boys. Asuka's in there. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to say, what would their shows be without Asuka, really?
Boring as fuck. Let's be honest. And her YouTube channel is fucking awesome. Just saying. But yeah, three-way tie, and it's all from Japan. Yeah, Asuka for sure. Io Shirai has had a wonderful year, despite the decline of NXT. Io Shirai is always a highlight when she pops up, so that's not a bad thing. And Hikaru Shida, she's been carrying that women's division, but every match, every promo, she's learned English to cut promos in the States. That's effort.
And she's a great cosplayer.
That she is. That she indeed is. Hikaru Tifa Shida.
And Aerith.
And Aerith. Oh, yeah, and Aerith too, yeah. And finally, boys, male wrestler of the year.
This room is full of brooms. So many brooms, so many sweeps.
You're feeling it too, huh?
I don't
know.
I originally was going to have this as just one, but after what's happened in the last 6 days, I had to put it at two. First one, Jon Moxley! He has carried AEW on his back, and he has shown everyone that he was not the Marty Jannetty of the Shield. He has gone great. He has gone to greater heights than either Roman or Seth have been in this entire year. He has wrestled in two different companies on two different sides of the planet, defending two different belts. He topped PWI's top 500 list, and he is. I said it before on Rift Downs, and I will say it here again. He is the American Okada. He is America's super champion, and he's just amazing.
He is America's ace.
Yeah, he is the ace of not
all
just
what it is.
He's not the ace of AEW. He's the ace of America. And the second one, JC called it Mr. Brody Lee. He came, and we all thought it was going to be Matt Hardy as the Exalted One for the Dark Order, but it was Brody Lee. He came in, and he showed the WWE what they missed out on. He cut great promos, came up with a great gimmick to not only put himself over, but put the entire Dark Order over. He had some great matches with pretty much anyone you put him up in the ring against. Cody, Moxley, Orange Cassidy, it didn't matter. He took the TNT title to heights never before seen, and his last match was an epic dog collar match with himself and one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and he had Greg the fucking Hammer Valentine in the crowd watching him.
And apparently mad props from the man too after the match.
And all that he did in the short time that he was with us on Earth, and the short time we had him in AEW, and Sorry. Just,
Yeah, don't worry about it.
it's so much potential, and we'll never see it happen. But I'm just glad that we got the little time that we had with Brody Lee, and I'm glad that he was able to show us what he could really do. So yeah, those are my 2 wrestlers of the year.
Both excellent picks. For me, personally, it is a man who's been to every state in the United States, including North Carolina, Kenny Omega.
All right, not a sweep, surprisingly enough, but you know what? It rarely is at the top here. Though I think Moxley would be honorable mention for sure. But no, Jon Moxley, just the year he's had. The quality of matches, both as AEW champion and U.S. champion, as Shintiger. Yeah, that's a thing. He's still U.S. champion for now. And he's got a match against Kenta coming up in 2021. Hopefully. That's going to be a banger. So, no, Mox for sure, though. Kenny Omega is a good pick. For sure. That being said, we've gone long enough, boys and girls, and I'm going to have to put this together in post because the internet is a thing that refuses to work consistently at times. Anyway, that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm sorry I couldn't get a chance to read the chat as consistently, but you know, it is what it is in this particular case. Though we do thank you for showing up and saying hi, everybody. We do have to plug some things, so Shin, plug away.
You already know, guys. Check me out on my YouTube channel, Maxacorn, for all the latest in the Warmerhort lore series. I'll probably get back onto it because I had to take some time off because of things this week that happened. So I was a little bit emotional. But other than that, and also check me out on Twitter, #Shintigercurl. And which I will still try to get Zelda and Sonic trending as a hashtag. Just to annoy TWK.
Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at TWKOfficial, where I will make sure that does not trend. And of course, last week I finished my Let's Play of Until Dawn. Currently working on my next video. I'll keep you posted when that goes live on the YouTubes.
And of course, if you want T-Dub's newest video just a little early, patreon.com/TWK reviews. I have my tip jar, paypal.me/MattyJ316. Donations are optional, but always welcome. And of course, Shin's book is available on Amazon, New World by Greg Haynes. Go check it out. You should get it. Digital or it's available on Kindle Digital or otherwise. Stuff and or things. But that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at MattyJ316, at TWKOfficial, and at Shintigercurl. We need to...
Get the book. I have it in my hands. I'm holding the book in my hands right now. It's a huge fucking book. Get it.
I have it on my phone. Kindle. Buy the book and the shirt. Seriously, buy the Brody Lee shirt. Proceeds to his family. He deserves it. But that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you very much. And Happy New Year once again on behalf of Shintigercurl.
It's 2020 and it's 2021, and you know what that means.
You tripped up there, yeah. And of course, TWK.
TWK of TWK Reviews. Don't new to join Dark Core.
My name's Matt AJ, reminding you to help professional wrestling. Support your independent promotion as soon as possible. Have a good one, have a safe one, have a healthy 2021. Until then, everybody, bye!
you guys see what I just did? I beat everybody up!
In due fashion, it's time to dub our LOL Cow of the Week.